we're heading to a restaurant in downtown Raleigh called Wye Hill.
We're going there to interview the owners and also get a tour of the restaurant.
Have a seat. What's happening?
Nothing much.
How's your summer going?
Good. Am I on video?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I just didn't stop it.
Well, easy question first. Like, what is your name?
I'm Sara Abernethy.
And what is your profession? And can you talk a little bit about it?
Sure. My role here at Wye Hill technically is the Chief Brand Officer, but I am also co-owner with my husband, Chris Borison. I have a background in sales and marketing and hospitality. Chris has a background in theater, technical theater. We do all kinds of things. You know, the title of business owner kind of comes with many definitions depending on the day, depending on, you know, the challenges of the day and, you know, where we might need to fill in to run the ship.
Awesome. Awesome. And can you tell us, like, maybe your background or what got you guys interested in the food industry in particular and then creating this restaurant?
Totally. First and foremost, I would say we love to eat.
Of course.
And we love to drink. So it definitely was a passion that both of us shared. And not only that, but in the first years of being together, we loved to cook together. We loved to make really fun, interesting, exciting meals that it might take the whole day to make the meal, and then we loved having people over to the house to enjoy together. So we've always appreciated the art and the science of food, beverage, and just connecting with people, no matter where you were. So when we moved here to Raleigh, I'm originally from Raleigh, he's from California, but we met in California. And when we moved to Raleigh, we did have this idea that perhaps with our shared skills that we would find some kind of event space together to manage and maybe upfit a little bit, but we had no idea that we would be running a restaurant. No idea. None at all. So it really was getting introduced to the previous owner of this specific space that we just totally fell in love with. And it had been here for a long time. It had, you know, a storied history, but it definitely had had a tough time, some ups and downs in the previous life cycle. And with the view that we have and the patio, we saw a huge potential to give it some love and a little makeover. So even though we had never done that before, and we had never owned a restaurant, or quite frankly, really run a restaurant, we knew it was gonna be hard. We knew we were gonna do it together. And we knew that if we built a really strong team of experts, that we could make some really amazing things happen. So I think, I mean, I'm thrilled we're still here. I couldn't even tell you a year ago if we would, but we are.
When did you start your restaurant?
We started Wye Hill. Wye Hill officially opened in June of 2019, but we had taken over this space and were running as the previous establishment a year prior.
Okay.
So we had been in the building, we've been in the building for 3 years, but even gearing up to take it over took almost a year. So it's like, it's been a long journey. But even so, like 2 years is not that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be open even.
So what was it like for your restaurant during COVID-19? How did you adapt to it? What were the problems with it?
Definitely because that started so soon after June 19th.
Well, I will tell you, it was very scary. What was it like? I mean, the first month was just sheer panic and kind of going into each day having no idea what to do. There's no playbook for this sort of thing. The industry itself was super duper scrambling. We had to let go of all of our staff. That was incredibly difficult and super painful. We closed down from middle of March through actually mid-June. Restaurants were allowed to reopen in May, but we had no idea if anyone would even come, if anyone was even comfortable coming out to eat, because we were not supposed to be close to each other. So we even waited an additional couple of weeks. And you know, we did, the model that we adopted was adding QR codes on every single table. We reduced our table capacity by 50% to ensure that every table was like at least 6 feet apart from each other. But what that also means is that in terms of our earning potential, that was also down by 50%. And so opening back up, we honestly didn't even know. There was no way to do the math to understand, like, can we keep the doors open? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So every day was a new adventure. We had to take it one day at a time. And fortunately, we do have a huge outdoor space. And so people last summer, if they were gonna go out, they were prioritizing going somewhere with outdoor space. And one day at a time, you know, like even at the end of each day, we would sit down and we'd look back and be like, okay, what happened today? You know, how were the guests? Were they comfortable? How's the staff doing? Do they feel safe? And what can we do better tomorrow? And we would just make these little tweaks each day. We did try and promote takeout, but the public never really responded to that for us. People want to come here and sit outside.
Definitely. Well, yeah, you have such a nice outdoor space that it's like
nice outdoor space. Totally. We still offer takeout, but it's just never really been that kind of place.
Before we continue on with the rest of the interview, I just had a follow-up question thinking about that outdoor space that's kind of, you have that beautiful view of Raleigh that I feel like is kind of specific to restaurants. So what is it like having that space, that breathtaking view of Raleigh?
I mean, it is the reason why we put everything on the line to take over this spot. I mean, starting a restaurant is a very risky endeavor financially, emotionally, mentally. No one can really fully prepare you for that, but we believe that the view is the crown jewel of not only this space, but we feel like nobody in Raleigh has this. It really sets us apart from everybody else. I mean, you can get a great burger at a number of different places in Raleigh, and there's a number of different craft breweries in Raleigh, but I don't think there's anywhere else in town where you can have that kind of experience altogether.
I agree with that for sure. When we were learning a little bit before, like you had some background in waitress. Did that play into like your experience kind of starting the restaurant or anything?
I mean, I've waited tables, I've bartended, I've been a host, I have done a number of events. I've even done some back of house stuff too in my hospitality career. So yeah, drawing upon those experiences over the course of almost 20 years definitely influenced how I imagined service would run here, and how I engage with the team, how I inspire and lead the team for sure.
Of course.
And what perspective did waitressing give you of the food industry?
Ooh, that not everyone can actually do it well. I think a lot of people don't realize that the skill required to be a great hospitality worker, not everybody can do it. There are certain things you can't teach. I mean, you have a million different tasks that are simultaneously happening, but you also have to read people where they're at. And at a high volume, at a fast pace, when it's busy. Also, you have to be able to navigate when things don't go according to plan. Your kitchen might run out of an item someone's ordered. You might have dropped a glass and it's shattered all over the floor. You might have spilled something on someone, right? So it's like this constant navigating of all of these different factors all at the same time, which I feel like is actually a pretty great metaphor for just being a human being.
Oh yeah, right? Like, now that I hear about it, it's like that really connects to...
You go through every day and you kind of don't know what life is going to throw at you every day, and so you just kind of have to roll with the punches and make decisions with the information you have. It's really served me in any role I've ever done in my career.
Did you have a favorite part about waitressing or something?
You know, I did well as a server. I really enjoyed it. I found it to be very, I mean, it is physically and mentally demanding, but I found it to be energizing, connecting with people and bringing them there's just like a little magic you can sprinkle on the table in addition to food and beverage. Like, if you can anticipate a need of a guest and add like a tiny little touch that they don't even expect is coming, and to experience the delight that people have when all of that happens is really rewarding for me, and I've always really loved that.
For sure.
So going back to the COVID-19 topic, what was the food supply for your restaurant like during COVID-19? Like, did it increase, stay the same? And then how did your restaurant kind of struggle?
It was totally random. Like and there was no way to anticipate it. So COVID-19 absolutely had an effect on the supply chain across the board for everything. But, you know, like, some weeks we couldn't get chicken, right? And we have one of the most popular dishes on our menu is chicken saltimbocca.
Yeah.
So we do. I mean, you don't have chicken, you don't have chicken. You have to take it off the menu. And, you know, when people are asking for it and guests are disappointed because they're looking forward to chicken saltimbocca, you have to kind of do your best to make another recommendation, and then if they're really disappointed, you know, send over a gesture, send over a dessert, or send over, you know, an appetizer or something, just to help sort of smooth that over.
Yeah.
We haven't necessarily seen costs yo-yo too much, but supply chain stuff has been like totally random. Like,
Interesting.
bread, or, you know, something that never salt or pepper or butter or like anything that was really truly crucial. But I mean, the chicken, that was the biggest. Like, what are we gonna do? There's no chicken.
Yeah.
So what did you do? How did you adapt to that?
I mean, you have to take it off. You have to take it off the menu. At the time, you don't really have time to necessarily replace it with something else. But you can, if guests are asking, hey, where's the saltimbocca? You have to educate your servers to make another recommendation for them. We do have a couple of other dishes that were served with cheese grits, which that dish was. Or, you know, the most popular dish is our Wye Hill burger. Like, that's a luscious, delicious meal as well. Perhaps you'd like to try that. So making a recommendation for something else that could be similar, and then just, if it, at worst case scenarios, sending over a gesture, like a complimentary appetizer, a complimentary dessert, and saying, I'm so sorry, there's no chicken. Like, what? I'm so sorry, there's no chicken. What can I do? Right.
How are things going on now? Because things are getting better, obviously,
It's
and
obviously
the food chain is.
restaurant looks
Yeah.
great.
Thank you. Every day is a new adventure, and I do say that with a grain of salt. I mean, every day we have challenges we can't necessarily anticipate. For us, the guests seem happy. We have not had a challenge filling the seats, which we're so grateful for, but we have experienced, and everybody in our community has been experiencing a hard time with staffing. Because last year, when an entire workforce was let go, and, you know, restaurants, bars, and hotels, those people had to make a living somehow. They went and found jobs in other industries. They've left our industry. So, you know, upon reopening, you can't just cultivate a whole new workforce like that. It just takes time. So staffing is a big challenge for sure.
Makes sense.
Do you have anything else to add? Held up camera.
No, I mean, we're all about righteously good people, plates, and pours. We have a great patio.
Yeah.
Our whole vision for the space was to level the quality of the experience up to the view. That was kind of what went into everything. So whether it's a cocktail or a beer, or, you know, just like a snack and a sip on the patio, we really want that to be really excellent. And for people to feel joy when they come here.
For sure.
Do you want me to tell you the story of what a Wye is?
Sure.
Well? That could be helpful.
That would be fun.
For your newsletter.
For sure.
So, this building, which you can see here on our logo, is a pretty historic building. It was built in 1945, and it was at the time super duper modernist and a little bit radical. Next to this building is the Boylan Bridge, where we all know you can walk any time of day and have this miraculous view. And the view itself is protected by a split in the railroad tracks. That's called a Y.
Oh.
So we named Wye Hill after that split in the tracks that protects our view of the city, which people know us for. And it will always protect our view, and you can see it in the H right here in Wye Hill. That's the split in the tracks.
I love that. That's
what
like
a great restaurant name.
Yes.
That's
Logo, and I love your water jug too. It's
yes.
really awesome.
I love that connection. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
A lot of people don't know what a Y is too. I mean,
I
didn't know
I
it
didn't
was.
know.
We were researching
Yeah.
this, so it is a fun little bit of trivia.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Um,
Well, shall we do a walk around? So we'll start here with the brewery. Actually, a lot of folks don't know that we are a craft brewery. This system is actually the second oldest craft brewery system in all of Raleigh, which is very cool. We call this room the Brewer's Lounge because we can roll up this door here and have direct access to our brewery back there where we make all of our super yummy beer. We also brew seltzer as well, which is really fun, all from fresh fruit. And we've got some grain storage back here, as well as some barrels that we will eventually use to do some small batch, fun boutique projects. Cool. So as we come out here, this is called our tap room. We've got some local art here on the wall. These are fabulous paintings by Brian Owenby, who owns Father and Son in downtown Raleigh. Yep. A fun, jolly environment in here
for sure.
with our bar. This area right here is the epicenter of the entire restaurant, actually. We have our food pass where all the food comes out and gets expedited to tables. We have our drink pass where all the beverages get expedited. And then a service station back here where they can have like a little moment of respite in between tasks.
I'd like to see both of these circles.
So coming on out here to the legendary patio. Of course, the view. We got our tagline, "People, Plates, Pours" on the wall here.
I love that.
What we're all about. And we can fit events of up to 200 people out here on the patio. It might be a minute till we get back to that capacity.
For sure.
But that it's quite large actually.
Yeah.
We do tend to have smaller parties over here in this covered section.
Nice.
Covered to make sure there's if there's inclement weather, then people can still be comfortable.
For sure.
And then some larger groups over here, which you can see. And to add to the comfort, we've installed misters and fans to help keep
That
it
is
cool.
so cool. That is awesome.
That's one leg of the Y over there that you can see.
Oh,
And the
yeah,
other
yeah.
runs along this way. Here.
Awesome.
And there's our fair city.
Yeah, this is gorgeous to just come out here.